Have you ever put a horse in the round pen, thinking you were gonna get a wonderful join-up, and your bond would get stronger and you'd get so much closer to your horse? And have you watched that plan completely crumble when your horse would not respond, like in all of those videos you've watched on YouTube? You've done join-up before with another horse, and it was just great. So what gives? Daisy was that horse. Given her history and her anxiety level, I shouldn't have been surprised when she would just completely ignore me and run the pen in sheer hysterics. She would run herself into a lather until it was time to go back to the barn. This scenario played out 2 or 3 times before I decided all my old tricks would not be sufficient for her. Daisy was never relaxed and at ease, not even when confined to her own stall. She was ever pacey and nervous. On the lead, she was forward and panicky. We had to do something different. We needed to find a way to get Daisy past the things in her past that were causing her such distress. For one thing, we knew she had digestive and ulcerative conditions that were causing distress. We were currently treating those conditions through herbs, diet, and supplements. But now it was time to deal with Daisy's heart and mind. I'd noticed that in the round pen, she was willing to come in and join for a moment, but then her busy mind would quickly return her to her anxious pen running. It wasn't a real join-up, it was more like Daisy was just going through the motions. She would come in when asked for a join, but never asked to come in. When she'd come in, she would not lock on and follow, but would return to her nervous route. Her desired result was to get the join-up over and make the human happy so that they'd let her be on her way, back to her nervous pacing and endless circle. She wouldn't cease until fully exhausted. Even cooling her out after the exercise was nearly impossible and required walks out on the lead. So we decided we'd have to use a different approach. The next time I entered the round pen, I sent her off and then went completely passive. I gave her no cues, I did not ask anything of her. I just wanted her to want to be with me. That was my new goal. Making no eye contact nor any pressuring movement, I stood in the pen and peripherally watched to see what Daisy would do. As I expected, she instantly began her endless circuit of anxiety. I just stood still, passively looking down at the overgrowth in the pen. I allowed my mind to wander. No longer thinking about Daisy, I began contemplating weed eaters. Out of the side of my eye, I watched as Daisy's demeanor completely changed. After a few more rotations, her pace slowed. She began casting quick glances my way, clearly wondering what this human was doing. It was different than usual, and she was licking and chewing. Soon she came into me and stood in front of me. For the very first time ever, she reached out to me with the normal join-up greeting. Horses touch nose to nose when greeting. When horses greet humans, it's nose to hand. She'd never done this before. She would always shy away and move off. This time was different. She was interested in me, in what I was doing. I wasn't asking anything of her. I wasn't applying any pressure in any way. She thought this was unusual. She came to check me out. Soon I was able to touch her all over her body at liberty, something she'd never allowed before. And when I walked away, she followed. Soon she was mirroring my strides. All that nervous energy was gone. She was here. She was present in this moment. The past was finally in the past. After that, we were able to make great progress, and it wasn't long before Daisy Dukes was back in the saddle, being the strong horse she was meant to be. Like, share, and subscribe for more from Strong Horse Trailbreakers.